north, as they gain some of that instability in the valley, those could become some stronger storms that we are going to want to track as they move closer to places like Stockton and Sacramento. So back out wide across our region, plenty of rain, thunderstorms, and snow in the high country. So winter storm warning continues until 10 o'clock on Friday. The flood watch was dropped for the higher elevations, but remains in place across the valley and out along the north coast and Bay Area until 4 o'clock.
And it is an ABC10 Weather Impact Alert Day. Thank you for joining us at 5:30. I'm Garj Paul Sunga, and we're tracking rain, wind, and snow for you on this Christmas Eve. And we're beginning with live team coverage. John Bartel is in the valley monitoring rain. Roxanne Elias is in the Sierra monitoring snow. But first, let's go and send things over to meteorologist Brendan Minchev on the latest.
Yeah, we've had a lot of heavy rain. We've had some thunderstorms, too, within the last hour and a half moving through Sacramento. We still have some thunderstorms moving through areas north of Sacramento, but the entire state has been dealing with heavy rain or heavy snow and wind. And as you look offshore, we've got more to come. So even as this round starts to wrap up, there's more coming in overnight tonight, and that also means more wind coming in overnight tonight, too. All right, here's what radar and satellite looks like at this hour. Plenty of snow across the high country. Interstate 80 is almost impassable at this hour, but we're going to start in the valley with those thunderstorms that have come through. This has brought heavy rain, including to Sacramento. It was really coming down on the roof of the ABC10 studios at about 4:15 earlier today. Those storms now pushing off to the north, following roughly Highway 70. It's crossing 65 right now, moving just east of Yuba City. Talking about Sacramento, though, we had a flash flood warning in effect for this area. This is now a flood advisory for everywhere you see in green here. West Sacramento, North Sacramento, Natomas up towards the International Airport. That heavy rain has come to an end, but there's still a lot of runoff happening. There's still ponding on roads, so just avoid anywhere that is flooded. You don't want to go through that standing water. Certainly don't want to go through any sort of moving water. Flash flood warning continues right now. This is pointing out that flood advisory down there, but I'm talking about this red polygon here. This is still a flash flood warning, roughly bounded by 99, 70, and 65 as these storms move north through Wheatland. And again, this is the line that we were watching a minute ago. They're moving north through Wheatland, crossing 65 right now, up towards 20, and then Loma Rica's next. Again, this is roughly along and east of Highway 70, but you also see some of these white colors popping up here, and that would indicate that there's some small hail with these storms. Let's move further south because this is what I'm watching now as those storms start to move north. You see San Jose, 680, parts of the South Bay dealing with a stronger thunderstorm. But I am interested in this because this is what's going to end up either in the Delta or further up the valley over the next hour or two. And as these pop up, they could become stronger for places like Stockton, places like Elk Grove or Sacramento, or even further north up the Sacramento Valley. So that's why we're going to keep an eye on those. Nothing much there right now, but who knows as they work their way north. We had some clearing in the valley earlier today, and that's what has helped kind of fuel these thunderstorms. It's given us additional instability, which is why we've had these storms popping off late this afternoon into the evening. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on that. But plenty of snow is coming down right now. Winter storm warning continues until 10 o'clock on Friday. The flood watch has been dropped for the higher elevations, but continues for the foothills across the valley out through the coastal range and the Bay Area and North Coast until 4 o'clock on Friday. High wind warning remains in effect through 4 p.m. in the afternoon on Thursday because we are not done with the winds. We had a lot of winds overnight. Stockton, 55 miles per hour. Mather at 53. Folsom at 50. Modesto, 44. Tracy at 43 miles per hour. This is just kind of picking a few places here that we normally talk about on the map. Some places saw gusts even stronger than this, and areas along the immediate coastline saw gusts between 70 and 85 miles per hour last night. More wind to come. Right now, sustained winds, especially in the San Joaquin Valley. It's pretty strong, anywhere from 20 to 25 miles per hour. The gusts here, we don't always have data points out in some of the more rural locations, especially in the higher elevations, but these purple shadings would indicate wind gusts about 40 to 50 miles per hour. In Stockton, the wind is gusting to 30 miles per hour right now. So as we look at those future winds, this is 11 o'clock tonight, and you see out of the south, once again, a lot of strong winds, upwards of 40 to 45 miles per hour. This is a similar wind event to what we saw last night, if not even a little bit stronger, so be ready for that. Over the next couple hours, we should see thunderstorms winding down, but then the next round comes in by 9, 10, 11 o'clock tonight. We're going to continue to see thunderstorms and heavy snow in addition to the wind through the overnight and into the early morning hours on Christmas. And then we'll continue to see rain and some isolated thunderstorms popping up in the valley through Christmas Day, and of course, snow in the high country. So nothing's really changed with the forecast. We're seeing exactly what we expected to see, and tomorrow is going to be really more of the same. Garshpal.
All right, thank you, Brendan. And tonight, despite drivers already seeing closures going through I-80, many families are still opting to brave the snowy conditions. Caltrans says it is all hands on deck for their crews, but drivers need to consider driving through strong winds and possibly several feet of snow. ABC 10's Roxana Elias is in Nyack with more.
Garge Paul, Caltrans tells us if you have not hit the road just yet, then you may want to rethink things. They say their biggest rule of thumb is if you feel a little uneasy or nervous about driving in the snow, then you may want to delay your travel. It's Christmas Eve and travelers are eager to drive up and down I-80 to see the snow for themselves with their families.
It's for her birthday. She's from Utah, so we about to go over there, celebrate her birthday.
Ski for the weekend. It's their first time seeing the snow.
And it's our first time seeing snow.
This family drove all the way from the Bay Area just to see the big snowflakes coming down.
First time we seen it, it looked like a movie.
They were also met by chain control a few miles before making it to the Kingville exit, driving up I-80 East.
It's pretty chaotic. They require chains up this mountain, otherwise you slide. I think there's already a couple of accidents, but I mean, I think it's pretty. It's Christmas and it's snowy, and what better to have a white Christmas.
It's also their first time installing chains themselves, which has its own set of challenges. This chain installer says the biggest mistake he sees people making is driving too fast.
A lot of the cars, the all-wheel drive cars, think they could drive in the snow and they have a hard time doing it. If you don't drive in the snow, please put chains on to be safe. Go 10, 15 miles per hour at the most. Good.
Jeremy Linder, the spokesman for Caltrans, says the hardest part is the juggling conditions as motorists hit the road, no matter the time of day.
You never know what you're going to hit, especially when traveling. You may very frequently come to a point that we're either turning traffic around on the interstate, we're holding traffic, and you never know the duration. That could be a quick 30-minute wait. That could be several hours.
But no matter the conditions, he says crews are on standby, ready to take on anything. Seeing the biggest impact on Christmas Day.
Our maintenance crews are in full-fledged storm mode. They're doing 12-hour shifts, 24/7 operation, even with the holiday season. Unlike the rest of the traveling public that are trying to spend some time with their family and friends and loved ones, our crews, they don't get that luxury.
For those of you who plan to brave the weather, Caltrans says preparation is key. That means having emergency supplies like chains, food, water, and a blanket inside of your vehicle. In Nyack, Roxana Elias, ABC 10.
And here in the valley, we're tracking some heavy rain that's causing flooding concerns and more. Sacramento Department of Water Resources is asking residents to clear debris from storm drains and report down trees. ABC 10's John Bartell joins us live from the Sacramento's Rosemont neighborhood, where we're already seeing some damage there, John.
That's right. Hey, the storm did quite a number on this Rosemont community here. I just heard from the weather team that the winds at their peak last night, 77 miles an hour. Take a look. This is the result of those high winds right here. Down tree busted right through this gate, and right behind here, I don't know if you guys can see that. That's a doghouse. Looks like the family dog is going to be sleeping inside. Good news for him, though. But the Department of Water Resources, they are the ones that have been helping clean up these trees here. So those crews have been working hard. Follow me. They have picked up today already 15 trees. They've unclogged 35 different drains, and they are asking for your help to prevent a lot of this flooding. All they want down these drains is water, and it's real simple. You can do this yourself. See this drain? You can even kick it out of the way. That's all they want you to do. Make it clear so only water goes down there. It's going to help, prevent your house from being flooded and, help the streets from being flooded. Now, if there is flooding and you see a downed tree, there is another thing you can do. Call 311. The fine people over there will come out to your house or the area where you report that tree. They'll clean it up, and they just need your help to report it. We're out here in Rosemont. I'm John Bartell.
All right, thank you, John, and thank you for showing us just kind of the damage that the winds can cause. And Calaveras County officials have issued an evacuation warning for the Cosgrove Creek area in Valley Springs and La Catunta due to rising water levels. And with the rain continuing, residents are being urged to prepare for potential evacuations. And officials in Yuba and Sutter counties are warning people about roadway flooding. This comes after they rescued a person from the water around midnight. They say a recent storm flooded a canal off of Kirksville Road and Highway 113 in Robbins. Crews were able to bring the person to safety, but the car remains stranded. Signs will be posted through both counties as the wet weather continues through the week. And one man is dead following a weather-related crash this morning in South Sacramento. It happened near Pleasant Point Road and Franklin Boulevard. CHP says it was due to the wet road causing the driver to lose control and then crossing into oncoming traffic and then crashing into a pole. And the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office tells us it was one of their deputies, James Caravallo, who was killed in that crash. They said he was on his way to work at the Rio Casumnes Correctional Center, and he served with the Sheriff's Office for 19 years. And we will keep updating you on the storm and weather impact alert right here on the ABC10 app. And new tonight, 2 men are in critical condition after a plane crash in North Sacramento. It happened around 12:30 near Clare Avenue in Rio Linda Boulevard. Firefighters say they had to extricate one of the victims out of the aircraft, and both wings broke due to impact. Officials say the plane took off from the Rio Linda airport.
It looks like they may have just taken off and then had some sort of engine failure. There were witnesses reporting that they heard the aircraft and then they did not hear the aircraft, and they looked over and that's when they saw it coming down from the sky.
And the NTSB is now investigating this crash. And continuing coverage, the people accused of the death of a 7-year-old girl in Roseville appearing before a judge for the first time today. The Placer County District Attorney's Office says 27-year-old Retaquel Dupree and 26-year-old Jessica Swansea was arraigned this afternoon, each charged with 1 count of murder and 2 counts of torture. The charges stem from a Monday morning incident when first responders were called out to a report of an unresponsive child. That girl later died at the hospital. Attorneys were appointed for both of the suspects in court today, and their arraignment was continued to January 5th. Both remain in the jail without bail. And coming up at 5:30, growing frustration over the release of the Epstein files, why the Department of Justice says they need more time to make the rest of the documents public. And welcome back. We're continuing to track the ABC10 weather impact alert. Here's a look at the snow, and we're taking a live look over Donner Summit. You can see the cars have come to a still, and you can see the snow all around. Right now, chain controls are in effect, and that's eastbound I-80 that we're looking at right now. So it is highly discouraged that you don't travel through the Sierra tonight because of the high winds and the snow. But right now, things are at a standstill here on eastbound I-80 at Donner Summit, and we'll continue to try to get more information as to what exactly happened here. But crews have reported multiple spinouts in that area, so we'll see if that's exactly what's happened here. But crews have dealt with that earlier today. But right now, things looking at a standstill on eastbound I-80 at Donner Summit. And frustration is growing among some Jeffrey Epstein survivors as the Department of Justice releases the Epstein files in phases heavily redacted. The DOJ says it may take a few more weeks to complete the release despite the December 19th deadline set by Congress. ABC's Christiana Cordero has the details from Washington.
Today, the Department of Justice says it is going through more than 1 million documents related to the Jeffrey Epstein investigation, adding it could take several more weeks to release its full files. The DOJ is also defending President Trump, who's mentioned by name in some of the latest documents released. The DOJ writes, quote, some of these documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims made against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. The DOJ didn't specify which claims they believe are untrue, and Trump denies having any knowledge of Epstein's crimes and said the two had a falling out several years ago. One of the documents is an email showing a federal prosecutor in 2020 saying Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet 8 times in the mid-1990s. And now frustration from several Epstein survivors who point to other documents that they say shed light on complaints made against Epstein decades ago.
We are just tired of asking for just one simple thing. It is really simple. It's stop protecting these powerful men and protect the survivors.
A police report from 2001 shows authorities investigated Epstein co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell for allegedly recruiting college students to work for Epstein. The report says at least 2 girls complained Epstein touched them inappropriately. Also from 2001, emails that show a message to Maxwell from someone going by the letter A, believed to be Andrew Mountbatten, formerly known as Prince Andrew. In the message, A says they're writing from Scotland's Balmoral Castle and asks Maxwell, have you found me some new inappropriate friends? Maxwell writes back, quote, so sorry to disappoint you. I have only been able to find appropriate friends. Virginia Giuffre long claimed Epstein trafficked her for sex with Andrew 3 times in 2001 when she was a teenager, which Andrew denies.
He knows exactly what he's done.
Andrew was stripped of all royal titles earlier this year. He has not been charged with any crimes. Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted of sex trafficking and conspiracy charges. She's the only co-conspirator serving prison time. Christiana Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Next at 5:30, Southern California also dealing with heavy rain, while there is extra concern in areas that have been ravaged by wildfires. And welcome back. California is getting hit with rain and wind up and down the coast and in Southern California. These are concerns about mudslides in the areas where the Palisade and Eaton fire left its mark almost 1 year ago. ABC's Olivia Rubin has the latest.
Today, life-threatening rain and flood slamming parts of the West Coast. More than 41 million people on high alert for catastrophic flooding and strong winds. The National Weather Service issuing a rare high risk for excessive rainfall and flash flooding in some areas of Southern California. Wow. ABC's Melissa Adon out reporting in the thick of it in Malibu.
It is really outstanding, this storm. From what I have covered here in Southern California, it is impressive. You are basically comparing it to a tropical storm that we see out in the East Coast to the southeast, because we have been getting gusts reported of 40 miles per hour. The wind in all of this is really what is outstanding at this hour. So on top of that, that rain is just coming down.
Evacuation orders already in effect in some areas. In the mountains northeast of Los Angeles, heavy debris flows in Wrightwood, California. The main mountain highway there impassable. Swift water rescue crews assisting with evacuating homes immediately impacted. And the biggest concern, those areas ravaged by the wildfires almost a year ago. Altadena and the Pacific Palisades, where the burn-scarred earth simply can't absorb the rain, and prompting increased fears of mudslides. In the San Fernando Valley, these drivers forced to drive through flooded roads in Burbank. Up to a foot of rain could fall in some areas. The state's fire and rescue chief with this clear warning.
We have intense rain, gusty winds, possible tornadoes. It's just a mix of the perfect storm, and we're encouraging everybody, stay off the roads, stay out of flooded waterways, stay safe this holiday season.
And now California's Governor Gavin Newsom declaring a state of emergency there, saying he's deploying emergency response resources around the state. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, New York.
And here at home, the Imaginarium at Cal Expo in Sacramento is closed this evening due to high winds. If you have already purchased tickets, you will receive an email with instructions on how you can reschedule your tickets. The last day of the Imaginarium is January 4th. And if you're looking to hit the slopes this weekend, Sierra at Tahoe will be opening for the season on Saturday. They will kick off with festivities at 8 a.m. with hot apple cider, sweet treats, and a DJ. And the lifts will open at 8:30 a.m. and will be spinning until 4 p.m. We're back after this. And coming up new tonight on the news at 6, we will continue to track the ABC10 weather impact alert and how it's expected to impact holiday travel, especially if you're trying to get to the snow. And it is Christmas Eve, and if you're wondering where in the world is Santa, you can track him in real time. And the North American Aerospace Defense Command is carrying on this Santa tracker tradition for 70 years. After leaving the North Pole, the journey usually starts in the Pacific Ocean, and then he makes his stops in the South Pacific, New Zealand, Australia, Asia, Africa, West Europe, and then finishes up in the Americas. And the tracker can be found at noradsanta.org. And thank you for joining us, and we will have more news, weather updates, and sports in a few minutes at ABC 10 News at 6. See you then. And remember, you can watch us anytime, any day on your schedule by downloading the free ABC 10 streaming app to your TV and phone.
all the time.
And Sacramento Department of Water Resources is asking residents to clear debris from storm drains and
we're using your downed
ABC10
tree as
Storm
our
Bartell
background
Joseph
here
live from Rosemont.
So we were hearing that the wind. Our meteorologist said the wind got up to 77 miles an hour last night.
Yeah, it sounded like it. I had to work early this morning, so I didn't even get to assess this today.
Is that right?
I just got home. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got
look,
you. Sacramento.
I think this is just everything else.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is there anything new you put in there other than?